Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing like a combo video. So it's all about the Naked Cherry collection, which just recently launched. So I have the eyeshadow palette, the blush and highlight palette, the lipsticks, the eyeliners, the cherry setting spray. All of those things are going to be in this video. I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial / first impression / review about all of these products. So if you basically want to learn more about the collection, then just keep watching. Okay, wait, you guys. The collection came in this really cute cherry because I went to the Urban Decay launch party in LA and this is what they gave us to go home with. And it had the entire collection in it and I never want to get rid of this. I just think it's so cute. Okay. Now we can go into the video. I just had to share that. Alright, so I am starting off with the Naked Cherry palette. This is my first time using this, so this is definitely going to be a review first impression. I have already put on my foundation, concealer, powder, all of that good stuff. I've also primed my eyelids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which I cannot live without. So I'm starting out with a big fluffy blending brush. This is the Morphe M330. And I'm going to be starting with the shade called Hotspot, and then I'm going to follow it with the shade Caution. So starting with Hotspot, which is the lightest shade in the palette, I'm just applying this to my brush. And I'm just gonna go back and forth in the crease. This is a very vanilla-y shade, but I always like to put some sort of base down. And I'm going to blend that all the way from the crease up until the brow. Now I'm taking the shade Caution and doing the same thing just to build a little bit more color. Next, I'm going into this pinky shade called Feels, and I'm going to be using a Morphe M139 brush. And this is where you're really gonna start seeing the color come into play. So just going back and forth in the crease, keeping it very concentrated there. I don't want to blend this too far up. I will blend it out a little bit. So you can just see that added a little bit of color. It's really nice. And I packed a generous portion on my brush and I'm not getting any fallout so far, which is really good. So just going back and forth in windshield wiper motions in the crease and then slightly pulling it a little bit higher. And these are blending out really nicely. They're really smooth and I don't see any streaks. Next I'm going in with the shade Devilish, and this is where we're gonna see the look darken up a little bit. I'm really happy with the mix of more shimmery shades and matte shades in this palette. I think that there's a good mixture where you can create a variety of different looks. So now I'm taking a Luxie 231 small tapered blending brush, and that's what I'm gonna use to apply that shade Devilish. This one is a little bit darker and I don't want the fallout, so I'm just tapping lightly. And then this one is going to go into the crease, but very, very carefully because I do not want to bring it any higher than the crease. Make sure to get that outer corner. And now I'm going to go in with the brush I just used before this one and just kind of blend this back and forth. And now going in with an e.l.f. crease brush, I'm going to be taking the shade Privacy and applying it in the outer V of my eye. This is the darkest shade in the palette. And actually what I'm going to do is take a Kleenex to get a sharp line, hold it right here so that I don't get fallout with this. I'm sure there will be a little bit since this is a little bit of a darker color. I'm gonna hold this in place here just so this dark shade really stays concentrated along this line. I don't want the dark shade to get too blown out. So this shade really, for being like the darkest color in the palette, really isn't that dark when you apply it. It is buildable. It's not super, super dark, but honestly, I don't feel like with this kind of an eye look that I would want these cherry pinks and then like a super brown outer corner of my eye. I don't think that would look super great. I do like how it looks. So I think it works. Now I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. This looks pretty dumb on camera, but honestly, it's so effective. I used to use the tape trick where you put the piece of tape right here to get your wing, but honestly, I felt like I was like ripping off half my face when I pulled the tape back up. So okay, so now I'm taking the shade Young Love, which is just such a beautiful color. This shade is more of a shimmer, so it is gonna have a little bit of fallout, so I'm just gonna tap to get that off of there. And I'm only applying this in the outer half of my eye, but it kind of avoiding this dark area. I'm actually just gonna go in with my finger because I want a little bit more pigmentation. So bear with me. So you can see that color is extremely pigmented. Gonna do that with the other eye. And now I'm gonna take the shade Bang Bang, same thing like on my finger. And this one I'm going to apply right there in the inner corner of the eyelid and transition it into the color I just applied. And now going back in with the shade Hot Spot, and I'm totally using the wrong brush for this. I just can't find the brush I'm looking for. I'm just gonna dab a little bit of that in the inner corner. Apply some mascara. And now for the lower lash line, I'm actually going to take the 24/7 pencil in Love Drug. That color is really, really pretty. And now I am going to go into the palette and I'm gonna first take the shade Feels and then I'm going to follow it with a little bit of Bing and I'm going to apply that to the lower lash line. So starting with Feels. Now I'm going to take the darker pencil, which is the Black Market shade, and apply that to the lower lash line. I love these 24/7 pencils so much. So this black color isn't as dark as like a Perversion, but it's still really pretty. It's a little bit more of like a grayish black. So now I'm gonna apply some mascara. Okay, so I quickly applied my gel eyeliner and the lashes off camera just because I didn't want to bore you with that. I have a video on how I do my eyeliner that I can leave down below if you want to check that out. So now I'm just quickly applying a little bit of bronzer before I get into the highlight and blush palette. So you can already tell it gave me a little bit of color. Okay, so now I'm taking the Naked Cherry Highlight and Blush palette, which just has the cutest packaging, like everything in this entire collection. Here's what it looks like. So you have the highlight shade, the blush shade, and then this is another kind of like a topper highlight shade that if you want a little bit extra shimmer, you can apply. So I'm gonna start off with the blush, and this is a really pretty color. The only thing that's a little bit hard is it's in between these two other shades, and I use like a big blush brush, so I'm gonna try my best to like kind of squeeze this together to only get the blush on my brush. It's a really pretty shade. I think it's very natural, and I feel like the shade could look good on a variety of skin tones as well. And now going in for some highlight, I'm gonna use this shade over here, which was the little bit darker of a shade. It's like a peachy highlight. I'm using a Morphe M510 brush. Oh my gosh, wow. Okay. You guys, this applies so nicely. It doesn't feel chalky. It doesn't look chalky, which is like a huge thing for me because some highlights just look, they like add texture to your skin. This one does not whatsoever. It's really, really beautiful. Look at that. Like, oh my gosh, wow. I'll take a little bit of the topper, but topper is a little bit of a holographic kind of shade. So it does add a little something something. Reflects whatever colors are around it. So because there's like a lot of pink and stuff in this look, it looks more pinky. Okay, now for the all-nighter spray. I totally meant to do this before I put my lashes on because I prefer to do it in that order. But I forgot and I want to test this out anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. And this is supposed to be cherry scented. I just took the little cap off of it. Once again, packaging is super cute. It totally smells cherry scented, but it's not like over the top. It's really nice because I'm not a huge fan of really scented things. Ooh, I wish I would have done that before I put my eyelashes on. I'm like, that's really nice though. I like the smell of that. I love the all-nighter spray, so the cherry scent is a fun twist. And now onto lipstick. So I have these two shades. I have the shade Juicy and then the shade Cherry. Juicy is a metallicized shade and Cherry is a cream shade. Okay, so this shade is really, really pretty. I definitely had to be very careful with it while applying it, just because I didn't want it to get all over my face. I am really, really pale, so this is looking really intense on my skin tone, but it is a really pretty shade, and I think it's a great shade for fall. So that's the completed makeup look. So in regard to the palette, I love it. I think it's so great. So many different looks can be created with this. I think I'm gonna come back and do a more casual makeup look that's not like these bright pinks. So give this video a thumbs up if you wanna see that. I like that there's a good mix of matte shadows in here to blend everything out with. And I think these shadows are pretty pigmented. What I love about this palette is that it is very wearable. And what I mean by that is that I think sometimes companies come out with palettes and the average person really wouldn't be able to use a lot of the shades in the palette. I think this one, even if you're not super great with doing makeup, everyone will be able to use this palette. They'll find some sort of combination that works for them. Yeah, overall, palette, love it. Cherry Scented All-Nighter Spray, amazing, smells great. It is a travel size, so if you're looking to travel and get a setting spray, try this out just for fun. If you're not a fan of scents at all, then just get the regular all-nighter. As for the 24/7 Glide On eye pencils, these did glide on really well. They were very pigmented. As for the highlight and blush palette, I really loved the highlights, and then the blush was pretty on me. Overall, I like this and would recommend it. And then last up, the lipsticks. Do think that this is a really pretty shade for fall. Wait, also, this lipstick makes my teeth look so white. Lipsticks never make my teeth look this white, and dang. Okay, lipstick's a winner too. And then as for the color Juicy, it's a little bit too light for me, not really the shade I wear, but I do think it would be really pretty on other skin tones. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was the first time for me doing like a review slash first impression slash makeup tutorial slash swatches video, so I hope that it was helpful having everything in one video. Overall, my opinion on this collection is that it's great and you really need it. Trust me, you need it. Ooh, one more thing. I'll leave it down below, but I attended the launch party for the Naked Cherry collection and I actually vlogged while I was there and uploaded that to YouTube. So I will leave the link to that video down below in case you want to see what actually happened at the event. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and if you really liked this video and want to see more first impressions types of videos, give this one a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.